right? Half the people want to watch him fight because they want to see him get knocked the fuck out.
Yes,
I know that.
I'm one of them.
I got
I'm one of
Tyson
them.
here
Yeah,
that say
I'm
you're
one of
gonna knock him the fuck out.
I mean,
you would
it'd
knock
be big.
Jake Paul the fuck out.
Listen, they're not real fighters. They're exciting fighters.
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter, a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
I consider Jake now, I wouldn't consider him like a YouTube fighter no more. I feel like he put in the time. He gotten better throughout like all his fights. Like he done got better throughout all those fights, But it's still like when you fighting like fighters who actually like done it for like their life, their whole life, it's a little different. If that fight happened, it'll be a good money fight. It'll be a good money fight. But that's a tough task for, Jake going to get that big ass heavyweight AJ. I know AJ personally, so that's a tough task, and that motherfucker could punch.
Jake Paul is walking into the most dangerous fight of his life, and even Mike Tyson says it might be a nightmare. Anthony Joshua looks sharper, lighter, and meaner than he has in years, and every new training clip is making boxing analysts nervous for Jake. The size gap alone has pros asking whether this matchup should have been sanctioned in the first place. And when Tyson was asked about it, he didn't hold back. Boxing pros and pundits are coming together to warn Jake Paul because it looks like this time he's really biting off more than he can chew. This is the first real heavyweight killer Jake has ever faced, and Joshua is training like he's preparing for a world title eliminator, not a crossover fight.
When Jake gets hit by Anthony, do we even know how he can react to a big punch yet? We don't. He's never even got hit yet, in a real fight. He's never taken a real punch. So, that's what I'm saying. What do we think about, AJ shot and, he's getting knocked out a lot. But what about you? How are you going to react when that big shot hits you? You think you're going to snap back into it and know what to do? No. Not going to happen. I give him, out of 1,000,000 times if they fought, honest to God, I think he could win maybe 1 out of the 1,000,000 times they fought.
Yo, imagine he catch him with a right hand and he just knock him out.
If he catches Anthony with an overhand hand and actually hurts him, I'm done. I'm throwing away everything. I'm leaving. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm gone.
But you imagine he puts him out cold,
Bro, what if he sleeps Anthony? Just sleeps?
If Jake Paul beats Anthony Joshua, it would be the biggest upset in the history of sports.
In the history of sports, correct?
Not just boxing, in sports.
And Jake
that'd be
Paul,
crazy.
Bro, we'll never hear the end of it, ever. It'll be over. Jake Paul will be the greatest athlete of all time. Bro, Anthony, he better take this shit serious.
And this is where things get serious. The new footage of Anthony Joshua training with Alexander Usyk shows a completely different level of preparation. These aren't light drills. AJ is pushing through high-intensity rounds with the same man who outboxed him twice. You can literally see Usyk forcing Joshua to move his feet, reset angles, and throw combinations under pressure. It's the exact kind of training Jake has never experienced.
Two-time heavyweight champion of the world Anthony Joshua is without a doubt one of the most well-prepared athletes on the planet right now. When we look at Anthony Joshua's supreme Adonis-like physique and size, sometimes we don't consider all the training and graft he puts in to get into that condition. In this video today, I'll be looking at Joshua's training routines.
What makes this even more alarming for Jake is how focused Joshua looks. No smiles, no media play, just pure, disciplined, heavyweight work. And if Joshua is absorbing even half of what Usyk teaches, Jake is dealing with a fighter who has improved his footwork, timing, and defensive reactions all at once. That's a nightmare matchup for any cruiserweight stepping up. Now look at this next clip.
What advice would you give to somebody like AJ?
That he has a lot of talent and not to get discouraged. He only loses when he quits. When you quit, all the doors of opportunities close. You just got to be, game, and then don't get discouraged if you lose. Listen, you just lost, you may got $30 million. You should give Usyk a kiss. Say, can we do this again? Don't let this internalize you. Oh, I can't fight now. This white boy kicked my ass. People laughing at me. No, he kicked my ass for $50 million or $30 million. I hope he kicks my ass again. But this time it might not work out that way. I'm gonna kick his ass. I just think the more time you lay off, the worse you get. You have to fight to be the best. You have to do it more and more and more.
Tyson said years ago that Joshua had real fighting spirit and just needed the right mindset to come back stronger. And seeing him now, you can tell Tyson was right. AJ rebuilt himself, he regrouped, and he's entering this Jake fight with no distractions and no hesitation. When Tyson praises your grit and tells you to keep going, that's not a casual compliment. Tyson recognizes killers. And AJ looks like he's trying to become one again. The scary part is simple. Joshua is training like he's trying to prove something, not like he's facing a YouTuber.
I'm gonna break his face, I'm gonna break his body up, I'm gonna stomp all over him. That's my mentality, right? That's a fighter's mentality. And I know what's in my heart, I know what's in my mind, and I'm here to compete. I'm here to prove myself that I'm the better fighter. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'll do that until I finish fighting, no matter who it is.
Jake Paul has never been in a situation this extreme, and all boxing purists seems uneasy about the matchup. Joshua is down to a contracted 245 pounds, which is the lightest he's been since the early days of his career. But instead of looking drained, he looks explosive. His pad work is faster, his jab is snapping, and his coaches keep pushing the pace like they're preparing for an 8-round shootout rather than a typical heavyweight bout. This isn't the cautious AJ we saw in the second Usyk fight. This version looks ready to walk Jake down. Meanwhile, boxing pros keep sending warnings. David Hay said Jake hasn't experienced real heavyweight power yet. Lawrence Okoli pointed out that Joshua's timing alone might be enough to end this early. Carl Froch went even further, saying Jake shouldn't be in the same ring as a former unified champion with knockout wins over top contenders. And all this pressure comes right after fans watched Jake struggle against Tommy Fury, a fighter nowhere near Joshua's size or pedigree. If Jake had problems with a 180-pound boxer, stepping in with a 6'6" heavyweight is a completely different world.
But if I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the fuck is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute. To be quite honest with you, and as a safety aspect, there's no way that fight can go ahead. At the end of the day, my God, how good does it make me look? He gets beat by Jake Paul. Well, that automatically makes me 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, doesn't it? There's no proper way. I've got to laugh about it. How are we even talking about this? He got his nut boxed off by me a little over 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden he's talking about fighting Anthony Joshua. It's like, come on. Like, you can't be serious. You can't beat me. I'm not Anthony Joshua, am I? So it's just ludicrous. It really is.
Tommy Fury said it best himself, and honestly, that's the exact concern every analyst keeps repeating. If Jake struggled with a 180-pound boxer, what happens when he stands in front of a former unified heavyweight champion who walks around at 250? Now look at what Roy Jones Jr. said about this matchup.
I want to change subjects just a little bit here. And Anthony Joshua, there's rumours circulating he could be fighting Jake Paul next. One, do you think it's good for boxing? And two, do you think the fight will happen?
I think it's great for boxing. I think the fight will happen. AJ is 1-0 against these guys that come in to these boxing careers late. So why not? He's a perfect guy to take him out too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out? And for him, he'd probably make more money fighting Jake Paul than he will fight anybody else that he can fight right now. So why would he not do it? I mean, not that he needs the money right now anyway, but if he's going to do something, if you want to get a good win to put him back on the scene, that's a perfect win. You get a lot of money doing it.
Roy thinks this is the perfect timing for Joshua. He pointed to the Ngannou knockout and said flat out that AJ would take Jake out the same way. And he wasn't being rude. He was being realistic. Joshua's bigger, stronger, and way more experienced. Roy also said AJ gets paid more in this fight than he would fighting any other heavyweight right now. And that's true. It's a high payday, low-risk scenario for a fighter of Joshua's caliber. Not that he needs the money, but it's a very clean win for him. Then you have the boxing purists.
First of all, kudos to Jake Paul. The cojones this motherfucker has. From a Disney kid to YouTube to... He can fight anyone and get views and make fucking money. This crazy wild boy sends out the bat signal, the British bat signal for Anthony motherfucking Joshua. You know how crazy that is? I will say this. I don't think any of Jake Paul's fights are fixed in any capacity. At all. Not even close. I don't get down that narrative. I will say this though. My spidey senses will go off if Anthony Joshua doesn't absolutely mop the floor with him.
One purist said Jake deserves credit for having real courage, and he meant it. Not many cruiserweights would call out Anthony Joshua, but in the same breath, he made it clear. If AJ doesn't beat the hell out of Jake, people will start asking serious questions. That's how big the gap is supposed to be. Jake is not expected to survive long in this fight. Even Dana White didn't hold back.
Did you see the fight that's reportedly being worked on for December 19th in Miami?
Did I see the fight being worked on December 19th in Miami?
Yeah.
No.
Do you know which fight I'm talking about?
No.
Fair enough.
Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what. A lot of people will watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. I think everybody's going to get what they've finally been waiting for.
He said he had no idea the fight was happening, but called it a terrible idea the second he heard about it. Still, he admitted everyone will watch, and he's right. The danger alone sells this fight. And even the sidemen reacted with shock.
Jake is fine, AJ.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to give him props. Fair play, Jake. That is a big fight. I mean, AJ should knock him out.
It is a weird one. Like, am I just being stupid? Like, is he not just going to wig him?
AJ by soap being dropped in prison stuff. AJ by brutal Bonnie Blue scene. AJ by just something vile.
Him even stepping up to fight AJ.
AJ is two-time heavyweight world champion. Yeah, it's no joke.
They said Jake is either brave or out of his mind for signing the contract. And when people who know influencer boxing better than anyone say this is crazy, you know the size gap is real.
Yes, sir!
Let's go!
Joe Rogan summed up the entire situation in one sentence.
What do you think about Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua?
Boy. Well, realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time. You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division. Maybe we should watch the Francis Ngannou fight. So you could see, let's watch that real quick. Just so you can see what Anthony Joshua is capable if he's fighting someone that's not in his league. He's so dangerous, man. It's like you're dealing with a guy who's an Olympic gold medalist, and he's enormous, and he's got vicious knockout power, and he's got immense amount of experience at world-class levels. Just think about what we said earlier. Fought Usyk twice. Fought Andy Ruiz twice.
Rogan said this matchup is wild because Jake just went from fighting a 5'8" Mike Tyson in what looked like a controlled sparring match to facing the most dangerous knockout puncher of this era. Rogan also pointed out something important. Joshua showed in the Ngannou fight exactly how he handles fighters who aren't on his level. He stays calm, he stays patient, and then he ends the fight as soon as he sees an opening. That level of experience is something Jake has never dealt with before. Then you have Jake Paul himself talking about the face-off.
Jake, you look forward to facing off with Joshua. To break down the face-off, what do you think about his size? Did you say anything? Did he say anything?
No, we didn't say anything, but he looks intense, focused, locked in. He's obviously very, very tall. Looking up, my tallest opponent. My eyes are at his, chest level. But yeah, he's locked in. I'm locked in. I don't think there's fear in his eyes or in my eyes.
Yeah, Jake, tell us the difference between your face-off with Gervonta, where you're a head taller looking down, and now looking up at Joshua.
No, it's surreal. All of it is very, very funny, and my neck started to hurt after looking up for a little bit. But this is what we signed up for, and he's very tall, but that means I can use my speed and my size to my advantage as well.
Jake, what type of journey has it been for you to start all the way from fighting guys like Ben Askren, rising all the way up to Anthony Joshua? Just explain quickly that journey for you as a fighter.
Handsome gear.
Jake admitted Joshua looked intense, focused, and completely locked in. And he didn't try to hide the size gap. He said his eyes were at AJ's chest level and that he had to tilt his head up so much his neck started hurting. Jake tried to flip it into a positive by saying his speed might be an advantage, but the whole tone of the interview made something clear. Jake knows exactly how big a man he's fighting. And when he talked about the journey from Ben Askren all the way to Anthony Joshua, even Jake sounded like he couldn't believe the jump. This isn't a YouTuber climbing the ranks anymore. This is a cruiserweight trying to survive against a heavyweight champion. Now look at Joshua's response.
Take it very seriously.
Are you going to do a lot of film study on him, or are you going to just mostly be focused on yourself in the lead up to this?
A mix, but mainly focus on myself.
During that face-off, I couldn't believe how much bigger you were than him. Is your confidence kind of through the roof when you kind of looked out, when you're looking down on him like that?
This is what I'm going to say. I don't want to focus on it being like about Jake. Oh, Jake's small, so that makes me confident. Jake's this, so that makes me confident. I'm just focused on myself. I'm confident in myself. Jake could be 10th, I'm confident in myself. That's what I'm saying. It's not about how he is. I just really I've got.
AJ refused to let the size difference be the reason he's confident. He said he doesn't care if Jake is small, big, or 10 feet tall. He's focused on himself, not hype. And that should worry Jake more than anything. When Joshua ignores the mismatch and treats this like a real fight, that means he's taking this seriously. And a fully focused Anthony Joshua is one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport. The fact that AJ is not underestimating Jake makes this matchup even more dangerous. Now this next clip is huge because it's coming from the man who literally promotes Anthony Joshua.
I think he's got absolutely no chance. I think he's going to get smashed to pieces.
Do you think Jake's crazy?
Yeah, I mean totally. I mean, listen, for us, we received an offer that was massive money and a really easy fight. We were talking about fighting.
Eddie Hearn said he was shocked when the contract came through, already signed by Jake. He said he looked at it and thought, oh my God, he's actually done it. And he didn't sugarcoat anything. Eddie called Jake crazy for taking this fight and said straight up that Jake has absolutely no chance against AJ. No hesitation, no promoter talk, just the truth as he sees it. Eddie didn't flinch when he said that, and he doubled down by calling Jake a decent cruiserweight, but nowhere near elite level. A decent cruiserweight stepping into the ring with a fully focused 245-pound heavyweight champion. That's the reality of this matchup. Jake's courage is real, but the danger is also real. So here's the real question. Is this courage, or is this Jake stepping too far into a world that doesn't forgive mistakes? Because Jake can talk about using speed, shorter range, and timing. But no amount of confidence changes the fact that Joshua hits harder, moves smarter, and carries years of elite-level experience Jake simply hasn't faced before. Now, I want to hear from you. Does Jake have even one realistic path to victory? Or is this the moment the Jake Paul train finally stops? Drop your prediction in the comments. And if you want more real boxing analysis, more expert breakdowns, and more behind-the-scenes insights, make sure you subscribe to Fight Field. I'll catch you in the next video.